You have a place to sleep tonight, people who care about you. Nothing is technically wrong. And yet, there is something sitting in the middle of your chest right now. Not pain exactly, not sadness exactly, just emptiness. Like someone reached inside you and quietly turned the volume down on everything. Food doesn't taste the way it used to. Things that used to excite you don't anymore. You laugh when you're supposed to laugh. You answer when people ask how you're doing. I'm fine. And the terrifying part? You actually don't know why. If that is you, this video is going to explain something about yourself that nobody ever told you. And by the end of it, you will finally have a name for what you've been carrying. The first thing you need to understand is this. What you're feeling is not a character flaw. It is not ingratitude. It is not weakness. And it is absolutely not you being dramatic. What you are experiencing has a name. Psychologists call it emotional anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure or meaning from things that should bring you joy. And here is what makes it so confusing. It doesn't look like depression from the outside. You still function. You still show up. You still do everything you're supposed to do. But inside, there is this quiet flatness, like living life behind glass. You can see everything, touch everything, but somehow nothing fully reaches you. A 2009 study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that emotional numbness is one of the most underreported psychological experiences, because the people who feel it most deeply are usually the ones who appear most okay on the outside. That last part, listen it again if you need to. The people who feel it most appear most okay. That is you, isn't it? So why does this happen? Why would a perfectly functioning brain in a perfectly stable life suddenly go quiet? There are 3 reasons, and at least one of them is going to feel uncomfortably familiar. Reason 1. Your nervous system is exhausted. Most people think burnout looks like breaking down. It doesn't. Real burnout looks like numbness. Your brain has been running on high alert for so long, processing stress, managing emotions, carrying responsibilities, that it did the only logical thing it could do. It dimmed the lights to save energy. The emptiness you feel isn't absence of feeling. It's your nervous system in protective shutdown. Reason 2. You've been living for the future, not the present. Think about the last time you were fully present in a moment. Not planning, not worrying, not performing. Just there. For many people, that memory is harder to find than it should be. When we spend years chasing the next goal, the next milestone, the next version of our life, the present moment starts to feel like a waiting room, and waiting rooms feel empty. Reason 3, you've been suppressing more than you realize. This one is the hardest to hear. Somewhere along the way, you learned that your emotions were too much, too intense, too sensitive, too complicated. So you got very good at managing them, containing them, functioning through them. And when you suppress emotions long enough, your brain eventually stops generating them so loudly. The sadness gets quieter, but so does the joy. So does the excitement. So does the love. You didn't just turn down the pain, you turned down everything. Now here is the part that might surprise you. This feeling, this specific kind of emptiness, doesn't happen to just anyone. It happens most to a very specific type of person. It happens to people who feel things deeply, not people who are emotionally shut down, but the opposite. People who are so emotionally aware, so internally rich, that their nervous system eventually had to build a protective layer around all of that feeling. The emptiness isn't who you are. It's armor. Research by Dr. Elaine Aron on highly sensitive persons found that individuals with deep emotional processing capacity are significantly more likely to experience periods of emotional numbness, specifically because their systems process so much more than the average person. You're not empty because you feel too little. You're empty because you felt too much, for too long, without enough rest. Think about the people in your life, the ones who always seem fine, the ones who hold everything together, the ones who everyone leans on, the ones who are last to ask for help. That person, the one I just described, is almost always the one lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering why they feel nothing. Is that you? Here is the part nobody talks about. This kind of emptiness, if you don't understand it, quietly steals years. Not dramatically, not in a way you'd notice on a Tuesday. But slowly, relationships start to feel like obligations. Passions start to feel like hobbies you used to have. Mornings start to feel like something to get through. And one day you look up and realize you've been going through the motions for so long, you can't remember the last time something felt real. That is not a small thing. That is your life. And it deserves more than I'm fine. So what do you actually do? Not generic advice. Not practice gratitude and get more sleep. What actually works psychologically for this specific kind of emptiness? The first thing is to stop trying to feel better. That sounds wrong, but stay with me. When you feel empty and you try to force happiness, watch something funny, stay busy, distract yourself. You are adding more noise to a system that is asking for quiet. The nervous system doesn't heal through stimulation. It heals through safety. Give yourself permission to feel nothing for a while. not forever. Just stop fighting it. The second thing is micropresence. Not meditation, not journaling, not a 30-day routine. Just one moment per day where you are completely present. The temperature of your coffee, the exact color of the sky right now, the sound of silence in a room. 30 seconds of real presence does more for emotional numbness than 2 hours of forced positivity. The third thing, and this is the most important, find one person and tell them the truth. Not "I'm tired," not "I've just been busy." The actual truth, "I feel empty and I don't know why and I haven't told anyone." That sentence, that one sentence, has more emotional numbness than any technique ever discovered. Because emptiness survives in silence. It cannot survive being witnessed. You came across this video for a reason. Maybe you searched for it. Maybe it found you. Either way, the fact that you watched this far means some part of you already knows. This isn't just tiredness. This isn't just a rough patch. This is something that deserves to be understood. You are not empty. You are full of unprocessed feeling, full of things you never said, full of a sensitivity so deep that the world didn't always know what to do with it, and neither did you. But now you have a name for it, and that is always where healing begins. If this video felt like someone finally understood something about you, share it with one person who needs to hear it.